Just before we get started, kind of wanted to give a little bit of an introduction of ourselves. So this is Monil and I. We're part of the Blackstone group. We're part of the Innovations and Infrastructure group, which is the technology group for our firm. I'm actually a business analyst for our Salesforce CRM system, and this is Monil.
Hi, I'm Monil Sanghavi. I'm a software developer on our external-facing websites, such as Blackstone.com, BlackstoneMortgageTrust.com, and a few of our internal-facing websites as well.
So before we get started, thought it'd be a good idea to kind of give a little bit of an overview as to what we do in particular. Some of you guys may be familiar with what we do as a firm, actually, but before that, wanted to extend a thank you to LaunchTN for having us today. When we first heard about this event, it's very hard to pass up, a very innovative way to connect entrepreneurs in the room with market challenges that exist in the market. So thanks for having us, and we're honored to be here. So as I mentioned before, I think it'd be a good idea to kind of talk about what we do as a firm, right? Who is Blackstone? What do we do? So at a glance, right, Blackstone is a global investment and advisory firm, and what we try to do is create value for our investors and for the companies that we invest in and advise. How do we do that? I'm going to talk to 5 major points. The first one, private equity, right? So what we do is we find companies that have high potential, we invest money in them, and then we use our expertise, leverage our expertise, our connections, whatever we may have in our experience to help them realize their full potential. We also have a real estate group that invests in real estate debt and properties, and then we have a hedge fund group as well where we manage a portfolio of highly selected and carefully selected hedge fund managers to help preserve capital as well as to generate attractive risk-adjusted returns. We also have a credit group, right, where our activities range anywhere from lending capital to private companies where no other financing might be available to buying misunderstood or undervalued public debt securities. And last but not least, financial advisory. And we advise clients anywhere from M&A transactions to restructuring and reorganizations for distressed companies. Right? So that's actually a lot to take in, and the idea here is that we participate with a lot of different clients in a lot of different circumstances. The one thing that is constant is that we're always trying to generate value for the companies that we invest in, right? We receive money from a large number of sources, whether they could be endowments, pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, all over the world, all over the United States. We identify potential investments, whether they're companies or anything else, and we leverage our expertise to help build and generate value. And once that is completed, we return that value back to our investors, and to date, we've returned $48 billion to those who have invested money in us. So in terms of reach, you can see here through the text that we have offices all over the world, in the United States, in Europe, in Asia, in Australia as well, right? So the idea behind this is that we are globally engaged through a variety of different means, which is a great segue into our challenge, right? So what we have here is we're involved globally, we're involved in a lot of different ways, and our internal team always seeks to assess the risk and how we're engaged throughout the globe. And our challenge is mainly finding a good way to display this visually, preferably through a map that allows the users to zoom in and out, view different summary level statistics about how we're doing across the globe, where we're engaged, and whatever other data they might want to see. But I'll let Monil talk to the more technical aspects of that.
So we believe this is not a solution just for us. We believe it's a solution that other companies are looking for as well. So we want this application that we create to be able to be hosted by multiple users, right? Multiple companies can be able to use this application. So as we were just talking about, mobile is the way to go. So we want this application to be mobile friendly. That's the first thing, right? Our senior managers love to be on their iPads, and we believe a lot of people also like their iPads or tablets, things like that. So next is it has to have custom data aggregation. So every Zoom level should be able to display different data depending on the metrics. So say on the state level, we want to see assets under management, or on the city level, we want to see the actual properties that we have there. So as you zoom in, you should be dynamically able to change the data sets. Filtering capabilities, right? So users should be able to filter any data that was shown on the map. Ability to push preset data to users and preset maps to users. So some users are not going to be able to create maps. So let's just give them a map they can see and make sure it's relevant to them. Ability to support multiple data sets on the same map. So we're going to have maps with a wide variety of series. So say assets under management, business units, properties, and things like that. So we need to easy way to distinguish between those maps, between those data series. And ability to, again, aggregate them on the fly. So there are some very difficult problems here, right? Geographic aggregation is very difficult, especially when we're doing on the political level, so like province, county, state, whatever of that nature, right? There's few, if any, mapping services that offer this, so we think it's a great solution. It's a great idea to have, solution to have. So we also want the system to be flexible, both for the administrator and the users, right? The users are going to want to be able to use it very easily, and should be able to do whatever they want to do. And again, same with administrators. Then there's two really distinct sets of audiences here. A developer like myself, I care about my API, right? How easy is it to use? How flexible is it? Is it going to take me 5 hours to learn, or is it going to take 10 minutes? And end user, who all they care about is my data relevant? Is it easy to use? Is it fun to use? Because you know what? Geographic data is also a lot of fun to view at many times at a time. So for Blackstone, in our case, we're going to have at least 4 different disparate sets of data. First is our data management system, which is our in-house data warehousing system. That's our golden truth system that feeds to other systems such as Salesforce, our general ledger, and things like that. Salesforce is going to be another one of our systems. Salesforce is a CRM system. We use it to track our limited partners, our active deals, our grant amounts, and things of that nature. iLevel, which is a very niche software, which is used for private equity and real estate business to track their portfolios, so what companies we own, what properties we own, and things like that. And users love Excel spreadsheets. So we want to be able to give them the ability to say, okay, here's an Excel spreadsheet with all my location data. Can I see it on a map? So timing, we're looking for a solution in place by Q4 of next year. We're Q2 of next year, we're going to see if the solution we've come up with is the right solution. And then if we do agree to go on forward, then Q3, it will be configuration, beta testing, things like that. Budget, we're open to various models depending on the scope of the project. And for Blackstone resource available, we're going to have a developer and a business analyst on that project as well. We're a very open culture that we're looking for we have 4 ideals that we instill in our people. High energy, dedication to excellence, intelligence and creativity, and entrepreneurship. And questions?
Questions?
Just had sort of a big general question. Yeah. Are you more interested in looking for something like a Tableau on steroids, or do you have any interest in doing some kind of advanced analytics and trying to do some prediction or density estimation on top of that?
More of like a Tableau on steroids type thing.
How much of the data should reside on the mobile device, or are you going to be looking to bring it straight off of the back end?
More than likely from straight off from the back end, but again, that's depending on the solution.
So do you need the ability to work off network, disconnected? Your GM is on a plane? Or?
It depends. It depends on the solution. I mean, that would be nice. Okay. And so if we do that, then of course we have to store data.
Yep.
But we might not. Let's see.
Okay.
You mentioned multi-user. Do you see that as multi-installation or multiple users in one installation?
So our core services are usually, they're multi-tenant. So one installation when have hundreds of users, hundreds of companies. You had a question?
We built something real similar for TVA, but it's on the dynamic CRM platform.
Okay.
So I don't guess you're open to moving your sales force.
I highly doubt that, right, John?
Would you be open to using another CRM application to access the data? We could still pump data in from Salesforce.
Right. Well, I think right now, for our firm and our group in particular, we're committed to using the Salesforce CRM. So moving towards a different platform is not really something that's in the horizon for us.
Is there a Salesforce partner in the room that's interested in partnering up? No? Okay. All right. I'll find one.
Just wondering, could you run me through a couple use cases on how one of the partners would run a report or what they're looking for? You mentioned something about identifying risk.
Yeah, so say we want to see the proximity of properties next to each other, right? We have a lot of properties around the world, right? We want to be able to say, okay, do we have a lot of properties like 2 blocks from each other? Because most of the people don't go out to the properties themselves, right? So a partner will be like, okay, we have way too many properties here, we should probably stop investing in this area, things like that. Thank you.